Humans have always loved exploring the unknown, but there are some things we may be better off leaving undiscovered. Some items can unlock terrifying secrets about our world, but sometimes they can unleash those very same secrets whether we want them to or not. Join us today as we look at kept away from the public. 20 possessed items history tried to hide. First, we have to look at the Dybbuk Box, originating from Jewish folklore. The Dybbuk Box is said to be any box that contains an evil spirit. When the spirit is unleashed, it looks for a new host to possess. In modern times, they're made out of ordinary pine wood boxes that are mass-produced in factories across the globe. However, there was one Dybbuk Box that rose above the rest. In 2001, it appeared in an antique shop in New York. It was called the Dybbuk Box after the owner. And this is where its story started. While in the shop, the Dybbuk Box seemed ordinary at first. It was just a wooden chest. However, customers reported feeling uneasy when around the chest. They also felt compelled to buy it and take it home. Once taken home, their lives descended into chaos and calamity. Bad luck struck whenever the box was moved. Pens rolled off the table as if an invisible force was directing them. People experienced apparitions and scratches appeared out of nowhere. The box was then sold to Zach Bagans, the professional daredevil and paranormal investigator. He now keeps the box safely sealed inside his museum in Las Vegas. Anyone who approaches the box experiences feelings of dread and pain. While Zach has never opened the box, he believes the evil spirit inside is so powerful it can only be contained in glass. Moving on, we have to look at the Hands Resist Him painting, painted in 1972 by American artist Bill Stoneham. This painting shows two hands resisting a white sphere. It is almost as though they are trying to stop something from entering the world. And perhaps they are. In 1976, the painting was purchased by a couple named Helen and Arthur. Shortly after they bought the painting, their son died. Although it wasn't linked to the painting at the time, it would become the first of many tragedies to strike. Over the years, other strange things began to happen. Sometimes Helen would wake up in the middle of the night without her dentures, even though she always wore them to bed. Other times she would feel a hand on hers while sitting alone in the room. One day, Helen passed away. Her family were so frightened of the painting they cut it up and threw it away. However, the pieces soon began to mysteriously reassemble themselves. Eventually, the family gave the painting to a friend, thinking this would solve their problems. But strange things happened to them too. One day they noticed the eyes in the painting were moving. The friend decided to cover the eyes with tape, but nothing happened. Then they covered the entire painting with tape. They heard a loud noise as if something was breaking free. The painting was eventually donated to a local church, where it is still kept today. Now we have to look at the evil eye mirrors. In the Mediterranean and Middle East, mirrors are banned in many homes because of their connection to the evil eye. The evil eye is a curse that happens when someone admires another person out of envy, which causes misfortune to befall them. Mirrors play a part in this belief. As we know, mirrors reflect what is in front of them. So many believe that through the mirror, your soul can be seen and stolen. For this reason, mirrors are often kept covered until they are needed. This tradition continues to this day, as people believe seeing your reflection can bring bad luck, especially if it's done on Fridays. Friday is considered an unlucky day in these countries, as it's the start of the weekend and many believe misfortune strikes at the start of new things. Many believe covering your mirror before sleeping can protect you from harm, as no one can see your reflection while you sleep. Next, we have to look at the portrait of Bernardo de Galvez. This haunting portrait was painted in the early 19th century by Spanish painter José María Sicilia. It shows a young boy dressed in 18th century clothing. What makes this painting so special is the intensity in his gaze. His eyes seem to follow you around the room. It's as if he's reaching out to you from behind the canvas. One day, the painting was hung in the Parador de Granada, a hotel in Spain. Hotel guests reported experiencing strange phenomena. This included a cold breeze running down their spines, inexplicable shivering, and goosebumps. Some guests said they saw the ghost of the boy wandering around the hotel at night. One guest claimed they were hanging the picture when they saw the boy. The boy looked at them and beckoned with his finger for them to come closer. Another guest said they were awoken in the middle of the night by the sound of footsteps in the hallway. When they opened the door, there was no one there. Instead, they could hear the distinct sound of a child running down the corridor. To this day, no one knows what the boy wants or why he haunts the hotel. Now let's look at the Crying Boy painting Curse. Created by Italian artist Giovanni Francesco Croto, this painting shows two children holding a bust of a Roman emperor. Since the painting was completed, many copies have been made and sold all over the world. However, this led to a terrifying curse being associated with the copies, not the original piece. During the 1980s, a series of house fires broke out in the UK, and all of them had one thing in common. All of the houses had a copy of the Crying Boy painting inside. The fire started mysteriously, seemingly out of nowhere, and spread throughout the house. Some said the fire was caused by a demon in the painting. the demon would become angry with its human hosts and lash out. This caused the fires to break out. Others said the painting was cursed by the artist, although there is no evidence to support this claim. Moving on, we have to look at the Bassano vase, said to be one of the most cursed objects in the world. The Bassano vase is a 15th century Italian vase. Its history dates back to 1475, when it was gifted to a young woman named Anna Maria Francesca. It was given to her as a wedding gift. However, the vase is said to be cursed. Anyone who possesses the vase will die within 7 days. 7 people were said to have died under mysterious circumstances after owning the vase. For this reason, it's now locked away in a safe in Italy. No one dares touch it, fearing they will be next. Now we have to look at Annabelle the doll. We've all heard of Annabelle the doll. But what many don't realize is that it shares a lot in common with the paintings and mirrors discussed in this video. Like them, she is said to be possessed by a spirit. Unlike paintings and mirrors, however, Annabelle is much more active. She moves by herself and interacts with her surroundings. She is said to be so powerful that she has driven people insane. Before being locked away, she was kept in a cabinet at the Warrens Occult Museum, but later the owners had to remove her as strange things were happening. Visitors would enter the building and leave feeling ill and disoriented. Some became violently ill, and others fell into trances. The doll is said to feed off people's energy and delight in causing pain and destruction. Next, we have to look at the Black Orlov diamond. The Black Orlov diamond is a large jet black diamond. It has been tied to death and tragedy since the day it was discovered. The gem was found in the Ural Mountains in Russia in 1848. Soon after, it was owned by Prince Vladimir Orlov. It's said that when Vladimir died, his widow placed the diamond on his forehead, so he would be beautiful in death. Many said the diamond brought bad luck to Vladimir. They also blamed the diamond for his wife's death and the death of their son. The diamond continued to change hands over the years, but each owner met a tragic end. For this reason, the Black Orlov is now locked away in a vault in Vienna. Next, we have to look at Roman magic mirrors. During the Roman Empire, magic was widely practiced, and some people feared that it had the power to do great harm. This led to the Romans banning certain things, such as convex mirrors. Convex mirrors were used for scrying. Scrying is a form of divination where one gazes into an object to predict the future. Magic mirrors were said to allow sorcerers to communicate with the dead, summon demons, and cast spells. Certain Roman emperors even passed laws stating that possessing or using such mirrors was punishable by death. Eventually, Emperor Nero passed a law banning all mirrors from the empire. This was because he blamed mirrors for spreading sorcery. Moving on, we have to look at the haunted Japanese Okiku doll. This doll was owned by a man named Seitaro. He was a director of an Osaka museum. One day, he decided to throw away an old doll. The doll belonged to his sister, but she wanted it gone. Unknowingly, he threw away a haunted doll. The doll's name was Okiku. That night, he was woken by a noise coming from downstairs. He investigated and saw the doll's hair had grown overnight. Over time, the hair grew longer and longer. After examining the doll, it was discovered that the hair was growing half an inch every 3 days. Even if the hair was cut, it would grow back in a matter of hours. Eventually, the doll was locked away in a chest, but it didn't stop the hair growing. The chest was then nailed shut, but the hair still grew. To this day, no one knows how the hair is growing. It's still kept in the museum, where visitors can see the hair growing from inside the closed chest. Next, we have to look at the woman from Lem statue. Found in Cambodia in the 1930s, the woman from Lem statue dates back to the 12th century. It shows a frightening woman with a grotesque face. The statue is said to be the goddess of death. Those who own the statue are said to die soon after. 4 of the 5 known statues have already claimed victims. The first owner was a French military officer. He purchased the statue and took it back to France with him. He died a few weeks after acquiring the statue. The second owner was an archaeologist. He too died a few weeks after buying the statue. The third owner was an art collector. He kept the statue in his private collection. He died in a freak car accident. The fourth owner was a museum curator. He died of a heart attack. The fifth and final statue is locked away in a temple in Cambodia. It's hoped it stays here and doesn't claim a life anytime soon. Next, we have to look at ancient Chinese spirit mirrors. These mirrors date back thousands of years. They were used by the Chinese for divination purposes. The mirrors were also said to be portals to other dimensions. Many believed they could trap souls. There are many legends surrounding the mirrors, but one of the most popular is about a king. He purchased one of the mirrors and took it home. He looked into it to try and predict the future. But instead of showing him the future, it sucked his soul into the mirror. Some say the king's soul is trapped inside the mirror to this day. Now we have to look at the Tallman haunted bunk beds. The Tallman bunk beds are some of the most famous haunted furniture in the world. The beds were manufactured in the 1960s, but soon after they were released. Weird things started happening to their owners. The sightings were so frequent they were recorded by the police. One of the most terrifying stories comes from a mother named Diane. She was putting her children to bed one night when she heard a knock coming from the top bunk. Assuming her daughter was playing, she told her to stop. But the knocking continued. Suddenly, the girl in the top bunk started screaming for help. Diane rushed over and found her daughter hanging from the top bunk by her neck. Luckily, Diane was able to cut her down in time. To this day, the bunk beds are owned by Zach Bagans. He keeps them locked away in his museum. Now we have to look at the Dybbuk script. The Dybbuk script is an ancient film script. It was found in a cave in Turkey in the 1990s. The script was written in an unknown language, but experts believe it dates back to the 15th century. Filmmakers were eager to get their hands on the script, believing it could hold the key to eternal life. However, they soon learned their lesson. After reading the script, filmmakers began dying. Soon after, their families and friends also began to die. Experts believe the script is cursed. Those who read it are said to die within 10 months. Next, we have to look at the Myrtle's Plantation Mirror. The Myrtle's Plantation Mirror is a convex mirror. It dates back to the 18th century, but it's also said to be haunted. Legend has it that it can trap the spirits of the dead inside it. If you can see the ghost of someone you know in the mirror, they will soon pass away. Over the years, many ghosts have been spotted in the mirror. They include a little girl, an older woman, and a man wearing 18th century clothing. It's believed the spirits linger here because they were never able to move on. Now we have to look at the ghost mirror of the London Mirror Room. The London Mirror Room is located near Piccadilly Circus. It's filled with hundreds of mirrors, but one stands out from the rest. The mirror is said to be haunted. Hotel guests who stay in the room claim the mirror sucks them into another dimension. They also say they can hear whispering voices coming from the mirror. Some say the mirror feeds off their energy, weakening them. Eventually, the guests pass away. Next, we have to look at Louisiana voodoo paintings. In the early 19th century, voodoo was banned in Louisiana. Authorities carried out raids on those suspected of practicing witchcraft. Many of these raids resulted in people being arrested for owning paintings. Today, these paintings are known as the Louisiana voodoo paintings. They show women in various stages of undress. Some say they are cursed. Others say they were banned because they go against the Christian values of the time. Now, let's have a look at the terracotta curse jar. The curse jar was found in 1974. Archaeologists were excavating an ancient site. In China, when they came across a small terracotta jar, it was buried deep underground. The jar was clearly marked with an X, indicating it shouldn't be opened. Despite this, the archaeologists decided to open it. Little did they know, the jar contained the remains of a cursed man. Over the next few months, the archaeologists working on the site began to fall ill. Soon after, they passed away. It's said the man's curse followed them home. To this day, no one should ever disturb a grave, unless they want to risk angering the person inside. Finally, we have to look at banned convex mirrors in medieval Europe. In medieval Europe, convex mirrors were banned. This was because people believed they could be used for dark magic. Mirrors were said to be portals to other dimensions. Superstitions surrounded witches and mirrors, leading to their ban in many areas. It was rumored that witches used mirrors to contact demons and travel between dimensions. For this reason, certain provinces banned mirrors. They were either destroyed or taken away from the public. But why do you think people ban these objects? Is it out of fear, mere coincidence, or psychological suggestion? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks a ton for watching. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and share it with your friends. Your support means the world and helps us create more awesome content.